Alright, 62730, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, Chapter 730, Florida Administration Codes, 730.001, Declaration Intention, 20, Definitions, 21, Reference and Variance, Case-by-Case Regulation, 30, Identification of Hazard Waste, when available, information repeal, the general standard applicable to generators and hazardous waste, emergency identification number, standard applicable transportation hazard waste, transfer facilities, standard applicable owner and operator with a hazard waste treatment, storage, and disposal facilities, standard management specific hazard waste, specific type of the hazardous waste management facility, criteria to determine whether this continues to constitute substantial modification certain existing hazard waste and there are the otherwise exempt statutory location standards, land disposal restriction standard, universal waste management, universal pharmaceutical waste, introduction scope, procedure, decision making, 210 definitions, 220 applications, permits, other authorizations, 225 recommended requirements for remedial activities, 227 financial assurance remedial activities, 331 newly regulated facilities, 240 operation permits, 250 construction permits, 260 closure permits, 2730 clean closure plans on permitted facilities, subpart H remedial action plans, exemptions, permit modifications, permit renewal, public notice of hazardous waste permits, other authorizations, fees of hazardous waste permits, other authorizations, emergency donation, thermal treatment of certain hazardous waste, and 62739 forms. Alright, 730 is the Hazardous Waste Florida Administration Code. 62730.001 Declaration Intent Rulemaking Authority 403.704, 403.721, 403.8055 Florida State Implemented Law 403.704, 403.722, 403.721 Florida State History News May 28th, 1981, formerly November 8th, 1981, December 6th, 1981, March 4th, 1982, June 19th, 1983, January 1st, January 5th, 1984, July 22nd, 1985, formerly 1730.01, 1730.001, and 1730.001, amended in January 29th, 2006, repeated in February 26, repealed in February 26, 2012. Alright, definition 638.020. Department definition. The department adopts the reference difference of the containing Title 40 Code of Federal Regulations 260-10 with revised after July 1st, 2008. Amended the definition. New hazardous waste management facility. New facility in the Federal Register date with the March 18, 2010. Revived Federal Register 12989. Florida Rules Gateway reference and the amendment adding the definition. No free liquid solvent contained wipes wipe or Federal Register dated July 13, 2013. 78 Federal Register 46448 and Florida Rules Gateway reference number 03223, except for the optional adding addition of the statute 267-101 subsection to the definition facility Federal Register dated in September 8, 2005, 70 Federal Register 53419 with the same words and phrases that define in Part 4 of the Chapter 403 Florida State Law and Title 40 CFR 26010. Definitions are not identical and definitions are given the state statute shall apply. Alright, 3. References. Title 40 CFR Part 261 adopted in subsection 62-730-031 Florida Administration Code shall mean the rules adopted the Department of Environmental Protection regarding the identification of hazardous waste. Reference to Title 40 CFR Part 262 is adopted in subsection 62-730-161 Florida Administration Code to mean adopted with the Department of Environmental Regulations regarding the generators of the hazardous waste. Reference to Title 40 CFR Part 263 is adopted in subsection 62-731-71 Florida Administration Code shall means rules adopted by the Department of Environmental Protection regarding the transportation of hazardous waste. Reference entitled 40 CFR Part 264 is adopted in subsection 62-730-181 Florida Administration Codes, and 265 is adopted in section 62-730-182 shall means rules adopted by the Department of Environmental regarding the treaters and stores that dispose of hazardous waste. Reference entitled 40 CFR Part 266 adopted in subsection 62-730-181 Florida Administration Code shall means rules adopted by the Department of Environmental regarding the change of the management of specific hazard waste for reference in Title 40 CFR Part 268 as adopted in subsection 62-731-83 Florida Administration Code shall mean the rules adopted by the Department of Environmental regarding the land disposal restriction reference in Title 40 CFR Part 273 as adopted in subsection 62-731-85-1 as shall mean the rules adopted by the Department of Environmental Protection regarding the standard for the Universal Waste System Management reference in Title 40 CFR Part 270 with adopted in subsection 62-732-21 Florida Administration Code 124 is adopted in section 62-732-103 Florida Administration Code shall be mean the rules adopted by the Department of Environmental Protection regarding permitting the hazardous waste facilities in section 403.722 Florida State Law. Unless especially indicated otherwise, when used in provision may be adopted in Chapter Title 40 CFR Parts 124 and 260 through 267 through 73. Unadopted shall mean the State of Florida, United States Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA. Also known as the Department of Environmental Protection, or DEP, Administrative Regional Administrative State Director, shall mean the Secretary, including the Secretary designee, and when appropriate. Alright, substitutions prescribed in 3B of this section shall not be made in Title 40 CFR 124.6 and 124.10. Skip that. Substitutions described in 3B of this section shall not be made. An alternative substitution deletion shall be made with described in the following. Replace the waste identification branch 5304 with the characteristics in section 07333 of Title 40 CFR 261 4B22. Deletion of the region when sampled is collected Title 40 CFR 261.4 through E33. Deleted region within the generator is located in Title 40 CFR 262.42A2B. Replace the state in Florida with Title 40 CFR 264.1 G1 265.1 C5. Replace the regional Environmental Protection Agency officer, Environmental Protection Agency Regional Office, Department of District Office in Title 40 CFR 273.1 and 8. 273.18G and 273.38G and 273.61C. Our department shall not be substituted with the Environmental Protection Agency in Title 40 CFR adopted with the following phrases: the E, Environmental Protection Agency Identification Number, Environmental Protection Agency Identification Number, the Environmental Protection Agency ID Number, the Environmental Protection Hazardous Waste Number, the E Environmental Protection Agency Publication, Environmental Protection Agency Acknowledgement of the Consent, Environmental Protection Agency Form. Any reference to federal state waste disposal as amended with the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act of 76 Amendment to Title 40 CFR Part 124 and Parts 260 through 603 adopted the reference herein shall be constructed to refer comparable provisions of the Florida Resource Recovery Management Act, or FRMA, established in Part 4 of this Chapter 403 Florida State Statutes, reference Section 1045, the Florida Resource Recovery Management Act. Its definition of hazardous waste shall be mean Section 403.70321 Florida State Law, and references to Section 3010 of the Resource Recovery Management Act shall be mean notification requirements of Florida law. For reference of chapter individual Florida State law rule chapter shall be constructed and construed include the qualifying phrase as state and statute section rule chapter may be amended renumbered from time to time unless the mention of the chapter specifically states the statute section, but the rule chapter is incorporated in reference. 5. Federal regulation adopted and incorporated with reference if the rule shall become effective within 20 days after the following state statute necessary unless the Secretary stipulates a different date of the following. However, no such federal regulations adopted in the state rule becomes effective earlier than the effective date of the federal regulation. Or it's X6 episodic generator means that the generator has a width with a temporarily changing for the statute status based on the one-time periodic events from more than one time per year. Example of a small quality generator who becomes a large quantity generator for 1 month every 2 years when sludge is cleaned or out of planing tank. The exposed generator category is solely with the notification does not change the regulatory requirements applied based on the temporary status change. Rulemaking Authority 403-701, 403-720, 403-8055, the Florida State Law 403-704, 403-722, 403-721, Florida State History News, May 28th, 1991, November 8th, 1981, December 6th, 1981, November 25th, 1982, May 19th, 1983, January 5th, 1984, August 24th, 1984, July 5th, 1985, formally 1730-02, amended in November 19th, 1986, October 31st, 1986, April 13th, 1985, formerly 1730-020, amended January 25th, all right, just for the sake of it, getting this done, we're going to read it. We're going to kind of skip around on the law skipping. We're going to probably law skip. 62-730-21 reference to variance for the case-to-case regulation. The Department adopted the reference following Section Title 40 CFR Part 260 revised on July 1st, 2008. The Florida Rules Gateway Reference is numbered reference 02191 for publication incorporated the reference to 26111, except for the optional amendments of the 26011C1 and 26011C3 and 27 and 26011D1 with the Federal Register dated September 8, 2005. The Title 70 Federal Register 53419 for the general requirements which apply to the rulemaking 26020 with the petitions equivalent testing and analytical methods 26021 with the petition exclude the waste for the particular facility 26022 with the petition includes additional hazardous waste 26020 the vacancy for the classification of solid waste 26030 standards of criteria to variance for the classification of solid waste 26031 the variance for the classified as a boiler 26032 the procedure of the variance classification of solid waste and classified as a boiler 26033 additional region with the certain hazardous waste recycling activities case by case basis 26040 procedure for the case regulation hazardous waste recycling activity 26041 the language of the Title 40 CFR 26011 effective September 8, 2005 the remaining in effect the Department adopted the reference of March 18, 2010 Title 75 Federal Registry 12989 Federal Register, Florida Railroads Gateway Reference Number 00590, Federal Register deletes Appendix 1 of Part 260. Alright, 62-730-030, identification of hazardous waste. The Department adopted the reference to Title 40 CFR from Part 261, revised on July 1st, 2008. All appendix amendments of the Title 40 CFR Part 261, published in reference registered dated December 1st, 2008. Title 73, Federal Register 72912, corrections published in the Federal Register dated March 18, 2010. The partial withdrawal of the correction published in the Federal Register date June 4, 2010, Title 75, Federal Register 31716. The amendments to 2614816, 26138 published in the Federal Register dated June 15, 2010. The amendments to 26133 and 261 Appendix 7, Appendix 8 published in the Federal Register dated December 2017-2010. Title 75, Federal Register 78918. The correction of 26132A of the published in Federal Register dated April 13, 2012, Title 77 Federal Register 22229, the conditional exclusion of solvent contaminated wipes 261-4A26, 261-4B218, published in Federal Register dated July 31st, 2013, Title 78 Federal Register 46448, and with the exemption described in paragraph 1A through the section Title 40 CFR Part 261 is adopted in subsection and contains environmental protection rules, agency rules and identification listing with the hazard with no delisting published in the Environmental Protection Agency and Title 40 CFR Part 261 is in effect in Florida until the adopted by the Department. A Title 40 CFR 261 4B16 reserved the optional amendments to Title 40 CFR 261 4B of the Federal Register dated May 20th, 1992, 57 Federal Register 21-5-24 July 1992, 57 Federal Register 29-20 February 11th, 1999, 64 Federal Register 6806. For optional amendments, paragraph 1B of the section language effective immediately with the prior to the effective date of the reference Federal Register remains effective. The optional addition of the 267 of the Title 40 CFR 261 7A with the Federal Register date with September 8, 2005, Title 75 Federal Register 53419, optional amendments Title 40 CFR 261 A2 4 A B D F G Federal Register dated October 1st, 2005, Title 70 Federal Register 577869. The optional amendment to paragraph 1C with the section language effective date of the reference Federal Register remains in effect. Alright, Title 40 CFR 261 G323 is adopted by Section 62-730-031 Florida Administration Code. Refer to the Federal Hazardous Waste Management provisions approved with the Federal by Environmental Protection Agency. According to the exempt small quantity generator, the conditional exempt small quality generators, or CESQG, which choose to send hazardous waste onto an off-site treatment and storage disposal facilities, documented delivering the hazardous waste through the written records, receipts and records which were retained for the last 3 years. The written receipt without the record shall include the name and the address of the generator and the term, treatment, storage, and disposal facility type, the amount of hazardous was delivered, and the date of shipment. Alright, Title 44 40 CFR 261.2, this is adopted in subsection 62.730.031, which the Florida administration requires respondents to an action to enforce regulations provided with the appropriate documentation to support their claim of the material within consolidated waste from the conditional exempt of the regulation. A, with respect to claim and substance for the otherwise disposed of the wood with the waste, the hazardous waste under the chapter of the non-solid waste become with the mixture deposit, domestic sewage, other waste with the passes through the sewer system, publicly owned treatment works, or POTW, with the treatment under Title 40 CFR 261.4A1, adopted in subsection 62.730 031, Florida Administration Codes. Appropriate documentation shall maintain the copy of the notification of the publicly owned traded works and the Department of the accordance for the requirements of section 62, 625, 615. Florida Administration Codes copy of the certification required in 62, 625, 615D, and submitted with the portable publicly owned treated work for the day prior to the day of the department inspection facility prior to the department requirements for the documentation for the provisions applied for the hazardous waste generators, including conditional exempt small quality generators which discharge more than 15 kilograms of non-actuate hazardous waste in each calendar, ending of the quantity actuated hazardous waste. With respect to claim hazardous waste and is exempt of the regulation because of the disposed generated one by the consolidated QSCQs, which requirements of Title 40 CFR 261 F for the adopted subsection 62.730.031 Florida Administration Codes. Appropriate documentation shall be written into the records for the applicable CESQ detailing the quantities of the hazardous waste generated of the CESQ method of location and disposal of such hazardous waste. Skipping the rulemaking on the 62.730 100 available information, that's the rulemaking 62.730 general. All references in the term to interim status of the Environmental Protection Agency regulations adopted the reference herein shall not be applicable to the rules standard that contain the Title 40 CFR Part 265 is adopted the reference in Florida Administration Code 62.731.82 is adopted by their reference and shall be applied with the existing facility and operation effective date of this rule as if the facility is in existence. Effective date of the rule changing the department which would be in the first time requiring the facility to obtain the hazardous waste permit. 2A. All generators except generated with the conditional exempt pursuant to Title 40 CFR 261.5 is adopted from the 62.730.031 Florida Administration Codes. All transporters, all persons who own and operate a facility with treats and stores for disposable hazardous waste must notify the department using Title Form 62.730.901B with the 8712 Florida FL Florida Notification Regulated Waste Activity effective date for April 23rd, 2013, which is hereby adopted and incorporated by the reference in Florida Gateway reference number 02074 unless they are previously formed, notified the form obtained with the Internet, the Department of State, Florida, U.S. Waste Quick Topics Forms, page 62, 730, containing the Hazardous Waste Regulation, Section MS 4560, Division of Waste Management, Department of Environmental Protection, 2600 Blairstone Road, Tallahassee, 32399, 2400, additional transportation, or subject to report requirements to 62.730.170 Florida Administration Codes. All generator transportation persons who own and operate with the facility with the treats and stores the disposal hazardous waste, everyone required to notify the Rule 62.730.181 for the Administration Code shall notify the Department of all changes in the status for the issued of the A712 Florida FL Florida Notification Regulated Waste Activity Form 62.730.901B of the adopted the references for paragraph 62.730.152A Florida Administration Code that used to change the status and the status included but not limited to the change of facility name, location, mailing address, business form, ownership, the management of the control facility and operation, ownership of the real property where the facility is located, facility contact person, type of the regulated waste activity changes in amount of the hazardous waste generated per month of the month, put the facility in different generator category other than the episode generators going out of business, tax default, and petition and bankruptcy protection. The 2011 Hazardous Waste Report Form 62.730.908 effective for April 23rd, 2013 hereby adopted and incorporated by the reference of Florida Rules Gateway Reference Number 02085. The form is contained with the Internet, Department of State, Florida, U.S. Waste Quick Topics Forms, page 62730. Contacting Hazardous Waste Regulations Section, MS 4560, Division, Waste Management Department, Environmental Protection, 2600 Blairstone Road, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399 2400. Upon written request, the Department of specific information concerning waste management activities of the person who generates the treat, stores, and transportation, disposal, otherwise handles the purpose of handling hazardous waste, and any person who owns, operates hazardous waste facility shall furnish with all the requested information relating to such waste and the handling department within 30 days of the receipt of the Department of request with the respective training, the requirements for the owner and the operative of the hazardous waste treatment, storage, and disposal facilities, and generator. The annual review shall be computed with the base for the calendar. No person shall refuse the entry of the access authorized representative of the department with the request entry with the purpose of the inspection pursuant Section 403-091 with representing the appropriate credential showing in any proof of obstructing, hampering, and interfering with the inspection. 62-730-160 standard applicable generator for the hazardous waste. The Department adopted the reference to Title 40 CFR Part 262 of the revised on July 1st, 2011. The Florida Rules Gateway Reference Number 01166, including appendix exemption to Title 40 CFR Part 262, 340 EN Project XL Site Specification Regulation 62, 10J, and subparts I and J, and primarily the exporter of the hazardous waste shall comply with a copy of the advance notification required by the Title 40 CFR 262-53 with the annual report required in Title 40 262-56 exemption records reported in Title 40 CFR 262-55 of the Department. General hazardous waste shall complete with the following section of the Uniform Hazardous Waste Manifest items 1 through 15, the applicable parts of 16 required by the International Shipment of the Form 8722, and items 21 through 32, and Form 8722A. Copy of the list of the vendors which supply with the instruction obtained with the contacting hazardous waste management system, MS 4555 Division, Waste Management Department of Environmental Protection, 2600 Blairstone Road, Tallahassee, Florida, 32399 2400. Generators with 100,000 kilograms or greater hazardous waste calendar month shall submit with the biannual reports required for the Title 40 CFR Part 26241 adopted subsection 62-730-161 Florida Administration Code of the Department of Form 62-730-908 and Title 211 Hazardous Waste Report Form adoption 62-730-153 with the Florida Administration Code 62-730-900. Florida Administration contains information with obtaining the copy of it on this form and instruction. R5 generation hazardous waste accumulated with the hazardous waste on site under the Title 40 CFR 262-34 with adopted subsection 62-730-161 Florida Administration Code written with the documentation inspection required under the Title 40 CFR Part 265 adopted in subsection 62-730-182 Florida Administration Code adopted. The generator shall keep the written documentation inspection in the section for the least 3 years of the day of the inspection. Minimum documentation shall include the date and the time of the inspection, legibly printed with the name of the inspector, name of the number of the containers, condition of the containers, notation with the observation made and the nature of any of the repairs and other remedial action. Generator shall maintain adequate aisle space between the container hazardous waste to allow the inspection of the condition labeled in the individual containers. 62-730-161 emergency identification number to Title 40 CFR Part 262 12A requires all generators for the environmental to obtain Environmental Protection Agency identification number before offering hazardous waste for the transportation under certain special circumstance. The Department procedure application for the emergency identification number referred to as the emergency EPA/DEP ID number. The special circumstances, emergency situations such spills, cleanup, abandonment sites, one-time cleanup of the sites that does not normally generate hazardous waste will give the design to generate waste in the foreseeable future in order to apply the emergency Environmental Protection Agency Department environmental and ID number. The generator hazardous waste shall send the department is complete with the form 62-730-903 application of hazardous waste emergency EPA Department environmental identification number or emergency ID form effective April 23rd, 2013, where adopted by the incorporated the reference Florida Rules reference number 02078 the form that contained with the Internet Department of State Florida USA Waste Quick Topics form page 62-730 HTML containing hazardous waste regulation section MS 4560 the Division Waste Management Department of Environmental Protection 2600 Blairstone Road Tallahassee Florida 32399 2400 B. Follow the instruction of the form. For the purpose of this section, A, the emergency situation shall mean the sudden release of the hazardous material during the transportation as the product of the storage facility. One-time cleanup shall mean the removal of the whole hazardous waste where waste has been abandoned and the property is under the bankruptcy proceeding with the administrative, civil, penalty, jurisdictional, judicial proceeding of the comply of the facility closure and any other situation necessity. One-time cleanup, removal of hazardous waste. For pursuant to Section 403.720 and 403.727, it is a violation of Florida state law. It is a violation of the rules of the generator. Provides the false, incorrect information from the Department of Environmental Protection Emergency ID form. Ship hazardous waste not listed in the Department of Environmental Emergency ID form. Ship greater than the volume of the word hazardous waste listed on the Department of Environmental Protection Emergency ID form. With the form will delivering within 24 hours of the shipment. Written exemption explanation for the reason for exceeding the original estimated volume. The shipments at waste of after the 60 day for the issue date for the emergency environmental protection and the Department of Environmental Action and number that files to send the Department legibly a copy of all the signed return material manifest and land disposal restrictions and notice the certification under the Title 40 CFR 268.7 for the hazardous waste shipped under the emergency ID number within the Title 45 days of last shipment. For the general with the Emergency Environmental and Department of Protection ID numbers would generate with greater than 1,000 kilograms hazardous waste in calendar month shall submit the biannual report described in subsection 6273160F Florida Administration Codes. 62.730.170 and standard applicable transportation for the transporter for the hazardous waste. The Department has adopted the reference to Title 40 CFR Part 263 revised in July for its 2010 Florida Rules Gateway reference number. The reference is 00602. In addition to the requirement subsection 1 of this rule, no person shall transport hazardous within the state for either the manifest required in Title 40 CFR Part 262 is adopted in Section 62.730.161 with the reclamation agreement with the entire between the generator recycler pursuant to Title 40 CFR 263 with the adopted subsection 62.730.171 Florida Administration Codes unless compliance with the following special requirement that has been demonstrated. A. The transporter shall have to maintain the financial responsibility of the sudden accidental occurrence with a minimum amount of $1 million per occurrence with the being covered an injury to the person, the damage to the property, the environment from the spillage of the hazard waste while such waste is being transported, including the cost of cleanup of the spill. Such financial responsibility shall be issued with an agent with a company authorized license to transact business in the state of Florida. Such financial responsibility shall be maintained at all times, be exclusive of the legal defense costs, and be established any one of the combination of the following: 1. Evidence casual liability insurance for the claim occurrence basis with or without deductible, with a deductible insurance liability payment amounts with the deductible applicable to the policy with reimbursement by the insurer of such payment made by the insurer. The insurer the policy must be embedded of the certified liability issuance. Amended in attachment endorsement surety bonds of evidence coverage shall include the submittal of the original signal copy of one or more of the following forms, which are hereby adopted and incorporated by the reference and forms obtained by the internet of the Department of State, Florida, USA Waste Quick Topic Forms, page 62.730, contacting hazardous waste regulation section, MS 4560 with the Division Waste Management, Department of Environmental Protection, 2600 Blairstone, Tallahassee, 32399 2400. The Certificate of Liability Insurance Hazardous Waste Transportation Use Oil Handlers, Form 62.730.905A, and effective date April 23rd, 2013. Hazardous Waste Transportation Liability Endorsement Form 62.730.905B, effective date April 23rd, 2013. Hazardous Waste Transportation Liability Surety Form 62.730.905C, effective April 23rd, 2013. Alright, those can be found in Florida Rules Gateway reference. The insurance policy, including on the endorsement liability surety bond, but must be made in carrier's principal place for the business. D. Whenever the request is secretary of the designated Florida Department of Environmental Protection insurer of the agrees with the department to sign the duplicate original policy and all endorsements. Transporter of the hazardous waste that also registered with the use of the oil handlers shall submit the evidence schedule liability insurance accordance with the requirements of 62.730.170A2AB with the subsection complete and accurate form 62.730.901B. Adopt the reference 62.730.152A Florida Administration Code of the annual and use oil registration in accordance with the rules 62.710, 500, 62.730.600 of the Florida Administration Capable Code with the March 1st each for the year upon receipt of the completion accurate the documentation required with the paragraph, the department shall include the registration, authorization, transportation, hazardous waste shall be submitted with valid until the June 30th of the following year. The registration is not renewed with the June 30th of the following year because the department has not been received complete, accurate documentation renewal with the transportation will no longer authorize transportation hazard in Florida. Current valid hazardous waste transportation certification. The transportation all registered with the use of the oil handler that expired for the effective date of the rule before June 30th, 2013 shall remain valid until June 30th, 2013. The transporter is maintaining casual liability coverage for the extended period. The department shall issue the letter of the transportation stating the certificate approval of the valid June 30th, 2013, as long as the transporter means and casualty liability insurance covered for the extended period. To initial identification of transportation hazardous waste submitted with the registered oil handler at any time of providing casualty liability insurance with not changes in soil current. The department shall revise transporter use oil registration, including authorization transportation hazard waste. If the transportation hazard waste does not register for the oil handler, shall submit with the evidence of casualty liability insurance in accordance with the requirements of paragraph 62, 730, 172, A, B, and with the subsection complete with the accurate form 62, 730, 901, B, adopted the reference 62, 730, 152, A, Florida Administration Code, September 1st, each of the year upon receipt of the completion, accurate documentation required with the paragraph, the department shall issue the transportation authorization transport hazardous waste shall be valid until the November 30th of the following year. The authorization not renewed for the November 30th of the following year. The department has not received the complete, accurate documentation for the removal. The transportation will no longer be authorized to transport hazardous waste in Florida. One current valid valid waste transportation certificate appropriate approval of transportation not registered on the use of oil handlers except with the effective date with the rule before the November 30th, 2013 shall be remained in November 2013. The transportation has the casual liability coverage to the extended period. The department shall issue a letter of the transportation starting certificate approval of valid November 30th, 2013, as long as the transportation maintains casualty liability insurance coverage for the extended period. Initial notification transportation hazardous waste must be submitted at any time with the evidence of casualty liability insurance provided with the requirements of the paragraph. The department shall issue authorization transport hazardous waste in the valid November 30th of the following year. Each of the registered transportation shall maintain a copy of the authorization transport hazardous waste in any vehicle. The transportation hazardous the subsection does not apply to any of the person transportation hazardous waste and only on the site hazardous waste generated permitted with the hazard waste treatment storage disposal facility. States and federal government is exempt with the requirements of the subsection of evidence of the financial registry up to the current year shall be verified annually with a submission of the appropriate described paragraph 2B of the section submission certificate insurance. The certificate of insurance shall include the certification insured with the original insurance policy, all endorsements instilled in future force and effective evidence of the original forms of the submitted department. Alright, let's read to page 10. 62, 731, 71 transfer facilities. Title 40 CFR 263.12, the DAP with the reference to 62, 731, 71, Florida Administrative Roads provide the transporter who support the manifest hazardous waste in proper conditions, proper containing the transfer facility 10 days lately or less exempt from the regulation of hazardous waste facility. The waste stored no more for more than 10 days. Facility subject to permitted requirements of hazardous waste storage facility. The transportation who owns and operates with the transportation facility will store the manifest with the shipment of the hazardous waste for the more than 24 hours, but the 10 days or less herein I refer to the transfer facility shall be obtained with an environmental protection identification number to transfer the facility for location. Notify the department using form 62, 730, 901B with the 8712 Florida Law Notification Regulated Waste Activity effective April 23rd, 2013. Adopted the references to 62, 730, 152A. Florida Administration gives pursuant to notification the subsection shall be submitted at least 30 days before the storage of the hazardous waste begins at the transfer facility. An additional notification shall include the information documentation required in subsection 62, 730, 171, 3 set Florida Administration Codes. Transfer facility shall be notified annually submitting the form 62, 739, 100, 1B to 8712 Florida Notification Regulated Waste Activity effective April 23rd, 2013, which is adopted and incorporated with reference to paragraph 62, 730, 158, 2A, the evidence of transportation financial responsibility is required under the subsection 62, 730, 173 of the Florida Administration and change with the transfer of the facility operation information reported with the lease last annual and if any notification shall be reported on the form next with the annual re-notification. 3A, the following items constitute initial transfer of the facility notification. Certification responsible the corporate officer or the transportation the proposed location satisfied the criteria section 4037211 2. The certification shall state that the factual basis of the conclusion and location criteria are met, and how the facts were determined. 2. Completed Form 62 739 1B with the 8712 of FL Florida Notification Regulated Waste, effective April 23, 2013, adopted and incorporated the references in form paragraph 62 731 52A Florida Administration Code. 3. Evidence for the transportation financial facility required under subsection 62 730 173. A brief general description of the transfer facility operation, including the customer base of the anticipated waste code, the operation procedure, structural equipment, the maximum design capacity of the storage, including engineering drawings, sketches of any. A copy of the closure demonstrated with the transfer facility will disclose the manner with the satisfy the closure and performance notification decontamination standard title 40 CFR 265.11, 265.11.12, 265.11.4, 265.11.5, adopted the reference to subsection 62 731.82 Florida Administration Codes. 6. A copy of the contingency emergency plan required with the 62 731 74.14A. The maps are mapped of the transfer facility depicting the boundary, property boundaries, access to the control building, other structures, the permit and feature such as the recreation areas, the current off of the stormwater control system, access to internal roads, sanitary process with the sewer system, loading and unloading areas, the ladder control equipment. The transfer who operates the transfer facility must notify the department prior to the making changes for any items listed in paragraph 62 731 71 3A Florida Administration Codes. No person shall operate the transfer of the facility before receiving the confirmation from the department, and if the initial notification package is complete with the technical adequate reference receiving the environmental protection identification with the transfer facility shall comply with the following requirements: Title 40 CFR Part 265 Part B General Facility Standards, C of the Prepared Prevention Contingency Emergency Plan with the one management containers with the exemption of the 265.13 adopted reference to subsection 62 730 182 Florida Administration Code. The ASIL special requirements described in Title 49 CFR Part 265 35 of the special requirements incompatible waste were described in Title 40 CFR 265 177C shall not be a transfer facility containing the stored trucks and loaded in accordance with the Department of Transportation regulations described in Title 40 CFR 263.10 and adopted reference to subsection 62 730 171. It's Florida Administration Code. Hazardous waste restored with the transfer facilities containing vehicles to stored and man-made surfaces with the capable of preventing spills and releasing the ground. The transfer facility shall maintain the written record of the items listed below. The record keeping the equipment to apply with the hazardous waste and ensures the leave of the transfer facility, including the hazardous waste generated with the CESQ generators required in the subsection maintained with the permitted in the form at least for 3 years and shall be available for inspection by the department. The record shall keep that facility in the department given the written approval. Do otherwise, and manifest number of the shipment and for the leave of the facility and shipment with the CESQ generated without manifest identification number of the shipping documentation. B. The date when the hazardous waste entered to leave the facility. The generator name of the Environmental Protection Department Environmental Protection Identification number for the CESQ generated without environmental protection and identification number. The record shall include the name of the address and the generator amount for the hazardous waste was associated with each of the shipment into and out of the facility within 60 days of the closing transfer facility. The transfer owns the operator with the transfer facility shall submit the department certification with the facility with the close within accordance with the specification closure plan. The certification shall be signed by the owner and operated with the transfer facility by the owner and the real property of the transfer of the facility located by in Florida Registered Professional Engineering. Construction, initial operation, substantial modification, transfer facility, which or shipments and hazardous waste are required to manifest, which does not comply with location standard, section 403, 7211 of the Florida State law, and have permitted the transfer to operate the transfer facility and subject to demonstrating requirements of 62, 730, 182, 3 through 8 and Florida Administration Codes regarding substantial modification. Alright, page 9, 62, 730, 180, standard applicable owners, operators of hazardous waste treatment, storage, disposal facilities.